Not a lot of coaches in your position have those two guys. Does that help you rest easy knowing that they're leading your group?
Well, I guess I won't rest easy until the season's over with, to tell you the truth. Because I think somebody mentioned it earlier, it's always the push. As a coach, you always want a little bit more. You always want them to excel a little more. Big 13 sacks, I'm at 14. You know, Corey 12 or 15 tackles for loss. I'm 17. You know, so it's kind of, you always want more as a coach. And but having veterans that know what's expected of them is good. This is the first year I've ever had 2 starters return since I've been in Clemson. One year was Branch was the Malachi was the only starter. Now this is the first year we've ever had 2 returning starters. Yeah, he's 240, but he's the strongest 245-pound man I've ever been around in my life. You know, his they tease him about it. His arms, man, you should see him. He's just ripped up. You know, he's got that 240-pound frame, but he can bench 500 pounds and squat until they tell him to stop. You know, he's got that what we call that mom and daddy, that genetic gifted guy. Yes. Okay.
One guy you haven't mentioned is Shaq Lawson.
Yes.
He can leave after this year. You know, what
Why
are you
would
telling?
he want to do something like that? Well, and I was, everybody was talking about the different guys, and that's Shaq Lawson. He's got a special talent. You know, he's born and raised here in Daniel. He loves the game. He loves football. And, Shaq he's going to have a big opportunity this year. And I think those older guys know, hey, your best job and is better be keeping Shaq Lawson off the football field. I'm not going to keep him off the football field. You better keep him off the football field. And he's been working again this summer. You know, did a great job in the classroom. You know, as freshman. You know, when we talk about guys leaving early, you know, the thing we talk about early is if I'm working with you and we're putting time in together, you owe me as well as I owe you. And I want them guys to graduate from college. I think that's the key. And him being a young guy, talent alone, maybe. But the long-term goal, you know, we try not to have that conversation too soon. But he is a very gifted football player. And it does not go unnoticed in my meeting room. It does not go unnoticed in staff meetings. He's gifted, and he works at it, and he loves it.
Do you think that year in prep school was beneficial for him to?
No question. You know, you think about the guys we've gotten out of prep school. Corey was a guy, Kevin Dodd, Shaq Lawson. You know, I'm just talking about in my meeting room, and that structure that they get out of Hargrave. And when I was at Ole Miss, I was fortunate enough to have some guys that had to go the Hargrave route, and they came back. Their structure, their commitment, everything was totally different for them. And it's a lot of things you didn't have to worry about because they already had that structure, and it's been a great advantage for them.
What's the biggest thing Shaq needs to work on going into his second year?
Just getting in great shape, you know, because last year I always talk about the freshman feet, you know, where guys are they're still kind of heavy-footed, you know, they still ain't moving as good. They put on some natural weight, and then they got to get adjusted to that weight. You know, it's just this conditioning program, second year in the conditioning program, and seeing him get in great shape is the thing he's got to improve on. And you see in the early in the year, he did some good things, but then you saw as we went on, the August and November is where he really took off and he got into that kind of football shape. But that's the thing, just getting into great shape. You know, we can be an every down player.
With so many stars at defensive end, you know, the Vicks, the Shaqs, how do you keep all those guys happy?
I'm not going to keep them happy. You know, it's all about Clemson. That's the first conversation we're going to have every year. It's all about Clemson. You know, it's what's best for Clemson. We do nothing to cost us a game. We only improve Clemson. And so keeping them happy is not is not a goal. They know if they perform, they work at it, they earn it, they play. If they don't work at it, they don't earn it, they don't play. And they want to play. And there's nothing more important than Clemson. And as long as they understand that Clemson is the big picture, not them. It's not an individual. That's the best thing going right now.